Think all SDR transceivers are the same? Think again. Today, we're diving into the radios that actually make a difference, ones you can experiment with, rely on, and learn from. I've spent hours testing these devices, and I'll tell you what's worth your time, what can frustrate you, and how to pick the right one without guessing. By the end, you'll have a clear picture of what works in real life, not just on paper. If you've ever felt lost staring at SDR boards and software, this video will give you clarity and confidence. Number 5. FOXWEY FRSP1-Pro. So this is one of those gadgets I didn't expect to use as often as I do. You plug it into your laptop, hook up an antenna, and suddenly you're just listening to everything. I've used it on my desk and tossed it in a bag with a laptop for quick field sessions, and it's kind of perfect for that. You can casually scan around, park on a signal, and just watch the spectrum come alive. It's great for messing with ham bands, random RF signals, or just learning how the airwaves actually behave. What I really liked is how flexible it feels day to day. You're not locked into one band or one use. You just explore. What I didn't love is the included antenna. It works, but it's clearly the weak link, and you'll want a better one pretty fast. This is for curious radio people who like experimenting. If you want to transmit or avoid software setups, this isn't for you. Number 4. LibreSDR B210 Mini. At some point, I realized I was pretending to learn instead of actually learning. Lots of reading, lots of demos, but nothing that felt real. I wanted something that would force me to get my hands dirty. That's how this B210 Mini ended up becoming part of my routine. It's not flashy, it just sits there, connected, quietly doing its job while I try ideas, mess them up, and slowly get better. Over time, it stopped feeling like a project and started feeling like a tool, the kind you open almost every day without thinking about it. The best part is how naturally it fits into serious work without needing constant babysitting. That said, it doesn't ease you in. If you're lost, it won't save you from yourself. I'd say it's perfect for people who want to actually learn by doing, and probably frustrating for everyone else. Number 3. HAMGEEK E310 70 MHz to 6 GHz. Ever reach a point where listening to signals isn't enough and you want to actually build something real with them? That's where this E310 starts to make sense. I've been using it less like a gadget and more like a small lab that happens to fit on my desk. It stays powered on through USB, connected over Ethernet, and becomes part of my daily workflow, testing ideas, tweaking setups, breaking things, fixing them, and slowly understanding how wireless systems behave in the real world. It's especially nice not having to rely on a heavy PC for everything. The biggest strength is how self-contained it feels. Once it's set up, it's stable and predictable, which matters when you're experimenting. The downside is that it expects you to know what you're doing. There's no hand-holding, and the transmit power is modest. If you're serious about learning wireless systems, it's a great fit. If you want something casual or plug-and-play, this isn't it. Number 2. HamGeek Pluto Plus ADC-DAC AD9363. I think this is one of those SDRs that only really makes sense once you've already been frustrated by simpler ones. I didn't come into it excited. I came into it tired of hitting limits. And that's where the Pluto Plus earned my respect. In day-to-day use, it feels like a more grown-up version of the original Pluto idea. I can leave it running on Ethernet, boot from an SD card, experiment with transmit and receive at the same time, and not constantly work around artificial constraints. It fits naturally into longer projects instead of quick demos. What I genuinely like is how open it feels. It encourages tinkering rather than hiding things. The trade-off is that it expects effort. Jumpers, modes, and setup quirks are part of the experience, and that can be annoying if you just want things to work. If you're serious about learning SDR and don't mind getting your hands dirty, it's a solid choice. If you want simplicity, look elsewhere. Number 1.
HamGeek ADI Pluto Plus, 70 MHz to 6 GHz. I use the HamGeek ADI Pluto Plus for testing custom wireless links from my home lab. I connect it over Ethernet and run GNU radio experiments. It handles continuous transmit and receive without overheating. The SD card boot makes it easy to switch projects. The main strength is reliability. The hardware is solid, the clock stays stable, and it doesn't falter when I run complex signal processing tasks. I can trust it to behave consistently across sessions. The biggest downside is complexity. It expects you to understand SDR concepts, firmware, and boot modes. There's no hand-holding, and beginners will struggle. This is for students, hobbyists, and developers who want to experiment seriously with SDR and wireless systems. It's not for casual listeners, beginners, or anyone looking for a plug-and-play radio. It's a tool you grow into, not a toy. All right, that's it for today's look at SDR transceivers. If you want to dig deeper, I've dropped some links in the description where you can read more or check out the tools I mentioned. Take your time, explore, and see what fits your projects or learning style. These devices aren't for everyone, so it's worth doing a little homework before jumping in. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll catch you in the next one.